I welcome you all once again in this FDP on blockchain. So right now in this session, I would like to invite Dr. Mayank Aggarwal, who is an associate professor and HOD of Computer Science Engineering Department at Faculty of Engineering and Technology at Gurukul Kangri Vishwavidyalaya, Haridwar. He is a man who believes in teaching is an art, but only knowledge can put colors in this art. So basically, he will be introducing to us about the blockchain, the basics of the blockchain to our participants. So before he begins, let me give a brief introduction about Dr. Mayank Aggarwal. He is designated as IBM Cloud Consultant for 2015 by Channel Technologies and has one patent to his credit in the field of blockchain. He has 17 years of experience in academics. He has been certified in IBM Bluemix and Microsoft Azure by MAGIC. He has been awarded by IBM TGMC Mentor Award in 2013. In 2014, he has been represented Uttarakhand, UP West and Himachal as Science Communicator in Indian Science Congress. Now, I would like to enlighten you all about his academics. He is a gold medalist and the university topper in his BTech in Computer Science and Engineering. He did MTech, PhD in Computer Science and SFRF from IIT Delhi. He has more than 50 papers in reputed journals and conferences. Also, he conducted successful 100 workshops and trainings till now, and I think there are more yet to come. So I would now request Dr. Mayank sir to please enlighten us all. Thank you.
Thank you, Kanika. I forgot that this role has been given to you. Anyhow, I'm the host myself, so no, thanks for the introduction.
You're welcome,
we'll be
sir.
beginning with, and as per the schedule, first of all, apologies for today's morning session. Dr. Goenka has called several times since this past 1 hour, and he's also feeling means he has said that he has conducted more than thousands of webinars in an online mode. Don't know what has happened that today session. Anyhow, so we'll begin with the session today. Now, see what I have decided for today's session is that we'll be focusing on introduction to the blockchain, means how this entire FDP is planned. And this entire FDP in this today's first session, we'll be focusing on the introduction of blockchain. After this introduction of blockchain, the speaker from TCS would be giving the inputs on blockchain. Tomorrow, Professor Das from IIIT Hyderabad would be telling about cryptography and in-depth knowledge of blockchain, which is required to understand blockchain. Then in the afternoon session, we will be dealing with certain hands-on sessions. I myself would be covering a hands-on session on Remix platform, Solidity. Then Mr. Madhu from MadBlock Technologies will be taking hands-on sessions on Solidity and blockchain, Remix, Ethereum, and also that how you can make blockchain applications using Python. We have also Dr. Mani Madhukar with us, who will be telling about Hyperledger and how you can make different applications on Hyperledger. To make it more interesting for the researcher community, there is a separate lecture from NIT Warangal that how blockchain can be used in research. That's how we have planned this FDP. During the entire course of this FDP, if you face any difficulty, you can share the message in the group. Another thing, all the sessions are being recorded, so you will be getting the recorded links also. Now, is the screen visible? Yeah, I can see on the other system the screen is visible.
Yes, sir, it is visible.
In case in between you have any query, you can write down in the chat window also. The chat is also visible to me, and if you feel, you can speak also. So it is an interactive session. I have no issues if you speak or you post any queries in the chat window. In this 1.5 hour, which we have allotted, means I have allotted for myself, we should say, or which has been given to me as per the suggestions of all the resource persons, we decided that how to plan it and all. So in the beginning of the session, I understand that many of you might have already attended many workshops of blockchain, and the basics must be clear. But we have to focus on the entire team and the entire crowd. So we'll be beginning with what is blockchain. Okay. To understand what is blockchain is, we say that blockchain is a future technology, but to be more specific, let me say that it used to be a future technology. Now it has become a part and parcel of our life, and it is no longer a future technology. To understand what is blockchain is, let me share a small story with you, which I generally share whenever I describe what a blockchain is. Let us assume, I can see that 78 participants have joined with us up till now. So let us assume that we all 80 of us live together in a society. And we all decide that we all will contribute a certain amount of money. And whatever we contribute, we will use that money for the betterment of the society or for a function. For example, Christmas is about to come. We contribute and we say that the day of Christmas we all will meet and we will have the party for that amount we have contributed. So, for example, we say that Patil sir gives 100 rupees, Ansha ma'am gives 200 rupees. Like this, Champak sir gives 500 rupees. I am naming some of the participants over here only, which I can see the list. And we decide that in a society there is an old fellow who lives among us, and we give whatever we have contributed, we give that amount to that old person living with us in the society. By the end of the year, when we need that money, we go to this old fellow's house, but we are surprised to see that by the wish of the god, he is no longer alive. And that old fellow is no longer alive, but we all say, okay, there is, we all feel sorry that he is no longer alive and he is not among us. But we say, okay, no issues. He was keeping all the money in the locker. So what all what all we have contributed is there in the locker, and he was maintaining a register for what all we was giving to him. So we request his son to open the locker and so that we can take money. But when the son opens the locker, we found that there is no register and no money. And we ask his family members, and the family members say, "We do not know what has happened to that money. We were not told by this fellow anything about that." So at that time of grief, we all also say, "Okay, nothing can be done at this point of time," and we all come back to our home and decide that we have lost that man also, and we have lost our money also. Now, a query which I wish you should answer using your chat window, if possible. Kindly, though I know that it is very much possible. Kindly, if I compare the story which I have shared with you with an old person sitting and having all the records, if I compare this thing in analogous to computer science, so what stream of computer science, or what is the analogy between this story and computer science? Which technology does it resembles to? Kindly use your chat window to answer. If you answer and we will interact, it will give me a boost also to continue and to make it more interactive also. I'm waiting for the answers. The story which I have shared, if we say good, FDP 176 have answered, client server failure 126. Or ma'am has said that it is a cluster computing. Great. Central server failure. Good. Any other answers? or we can say client server model. 129 have said blockchain very smartly. It is not the example of currently, we are not saying of blockchain anything. Client server model, good. Any other answers? All answers are correct. There is nothing which is right or wrong. But I wish others should also use their fingers. It is so cold now, so it is difficult to type. I can understand. But just move your fingers on the keyboard and try to interact so that the session becomes more interactive. And I promise you, by the end of this session, if you are not aware of what is blockchain, all of you would be aware what is blockchain. Great. FDP 201 says there is no technology which is required. We can just have worksheet for this. Great, great, great. Apaxa says it is a centralized database management. Okay. We'll, yeah. 201 has said very rightly that it was requiring technology. So, but if we give it an analogous where all the records was kept with a single person, what was happening? All the records was kept with a single person. So when all the record is kept with a single person, we make it an analogous with centralized computing. So it becomes an analogous with centralized computing. So this is an analogous with centralized computing, because client server architecture where everything was a server was responsible for everything, and if the server, anything goes wrong with the server, then everything goes wrong. Okay, so that was the point. Now we all meet again and we say that we all are not going to give up with this thing, and now what we do is that we again start contributing. And this time when we are contributing, what we do is we appoint 5 persons among us who is keeping the record. 5 persons among us who is keeping the record, so that they keep the record that how much money has been given by whom. For example, Pratyush Tiwari sir gives 1000 rupees, it is kept as a record. Kaur ma'am gives 2000 rupees, it is kept as a record. And instead of one person keeping the record, 5 of us among us is keeping that record. Now what happens? A smart person, like not to name, but we can say like Nirav Modi, he becomes a part of our group and he gives certain lucrative offers to all these 5 persons, those who are maintaining the records. And he says that if you do certain changes in the records, then all of us can have a plenty amount of money. And again, by misfortune, the 5 persons, those who are keeping the record, they do certain manipulations in the record. At the end of the year, when we all go to these 5 persons to ask for the amount of the money, we find that actually what we have given is not returned. Manipulations have been done by these 5 people. So we can't blame them, because all these 5 people say, no, we have maintained the record and this is what the record says. And we do not have any proof in our hand. So now again, if I request you to compare it with an analogous with computer science, where instead of 1 person, 5 person is keeping the record. So what do we say to it? What type of technology is it? Distributed. Great. Great. Distributed company. Very rightly said. I hope the voice is clear. There is no echo or something, or I am hearing something. Clear? Okay. So it is an example of distributed computing. Now, second story which I told you was a distributed computing. Now we move to a third story. In the third story, we do an extension of distributed computing only, But this time the extension is done in such a way that instead of 5 people of us keeping the record, there are 86 participants at the moment, those who have joined. We say that all 86 of us will keep the record. Now, what will happen? All 86 of us is keeping the record. For example, I say that FDP 126 give 1,000 rupees. He also keep a record of this thing. And FDP 123 also keep a record of this thing, what 126 has given. This is maintaining the record. And we say that we are all maintaining a common ledger. We are all maintaining an individual ledger also, and we are all maintaining a common ledger also. And if anyone is giving any transaction, anyone is depositing anything, a record is being kept with each and everyone. So when a record is kept with each and everyone, when a record is being kept with each and everyone, there is no chance of any discrepancy. There is no chance of any fraud. So to compare it, we are not concluding, remember, we are just initiating the talk. Okay. So to compare it, this third type of analogy, where every one of us is keeping the record, we can say that this is an example of blockchain. It is an example of blockchain. I insist that we are just initiating it. We have not concluded it. So do not think that this is only what blockchain is. We have just started, just so that if anyone is hearing this for the very first time, he can come to know that blockchain is a certain type of technology where all the parties are keeping the record. I could see certain queries. I will answer them just after 2-3 minutes. And give certain time to me. I'll answer them. I can see the queries floating on the chat window. So to conclude with the first 3 scenarios, the first scenario where a single person was responsible to keep all the records, it was known as a client server architecture. The second, where more than one person was keeping the record, was distributed. And in the third, where every party which is involved is keeping the record, we call it a blockchain. Okay. Now let's see what are different queries. What is a ledger? Ledger, Karinka ji, एक register को आप कह सकते हैं. We can say that it is a register where we are keeping the records. Okay, you can compare it to any book. If we go to olden times, where people used to do business and shopkeepers used to maintain a register, and that register was called in Hindi Bhai Khata. So that Bhai Khata is keeping all the records. So in English, we call it a ledger. In blockchain, this is very particular term which is used. Okay. What's the difference between common and individual ledger? Very good, Champakji. I'll answer this query, and we will, as time proceeds in these 5 days, we will see all these things technically also. An individual ledger is a ledger which is kept on my machine where I'm keeping the record. A common ledger is that which is visible to all. Okay, which is visible to all. Depending upon the application, we can give different rights to the applications. Okay. Definitely, this is one of the shortcomings of blockchain, Pratyush ji, that there is a lot of overhead. There is a lot of wastage of memory. There is a lot of overhead. Gargi ji, you can compare it as a log file. Someone has answered that no, but what all we have studied up till now in these 3 scenarios, I can say that you can think of it somewhat like a log file. We have to think big. We have to think broad. We can't say that no, it is not a log file. I'll give an example where we say that blockchain is a log file only. Okay. So what is actually blockchain? We'll come to it slowly and slowly. Any other queries up till now? Believe me, by the end of the session, all points on blockchain. It is difficult to define blockchain with a single term. So I'm trying to put it in different ways. Okay. Now, these are some of the technologies which I believe all of you must have already heard of. Cloud computing, big data, IoT, fog computing, artificial intelligence, machine learning. These are some of the technologies where we are already working on, or where academics and industry is already focusing on. Now, blockchain has come to the picture where industry is also very keen to absorb students of blockchain, and your academia is also very keen to put things in research on blockchain. So these are different technologies. What is the beauty of blockchain is that blockchain can be combined with any of these technologies. Cloud computing is the base of all the things we say, and blockchain can be combined with any of these technologies. So if you are having an expertise in any of these technologies, you can combine blockchain with it. Okay. The FDP which we did in September was blockchain and machine learning only. I'll share the YouTube link to you, and you can access the sessions of that FDP also. Good. Any queries up till now? Yes, Mohammadji, it can be used in any field. We'll talk to it about later. Now, why do we say that blockchain has to be introduced as a course in every academia? Why there is so much hasn't? First of all, blockchain. If you see that the estimated market spending on blockchain is increasing, and it has increased a lot in the past 5 years. Therefore, it has become a demand for us to study blockchain and to motivate our students. The average salary which blockchain engineer gets is a hefty salary, as you can see in the figure. And number of openings in the blockchain is increasing a lot. This is our old data of 2016 and 17. And you can see even in 16, 17, there was a huge jump in the number of blockchain job postings on LinkedIn. Now it has started more. This is one of the posts we have taken from IBM account of someone, that it says that, are you ready for our passionate session and all these things? If it is so, then these are the technologies which is required. So in this workshop, we'll be talking in depth about Ethereum and certain part of Hyperledger. And we'll be sharing with you the YouTube links where Hyperledger was taken in depth in the previous FDP which we conducted in collaboration with IBM. Now we'll skip the video.
But these nodes.
Now, in the coming slides, I'll try to share with you what is the definition of blockchain. What I'll be presenting is it would be a repeated 4-5 slides which basically focus on what is a blockchain. See, my goal is to tell you what a blockchain is in this session. And to stick to my goal, I'll be repeating my words. I'll be repeating my words so that by the end of these definitions, all of you are aware of what is a blockchain. And this is the way I teach in my class also. I repeat the important terminology so that each and every student who is sitting in the class comes to know that what is it. Because I assure everyone that when he leaves the class, he understands what was being taught. So this is my aim. All of us are teachers. So I understand that you will cooperate with this thing when I'll be repeating 3-4 times as the definition of blockchain. Now, as the slide before you shares with you that what is a blockchain, it is a distributed ledger. In the third scenario, which I shared with you, I have already explained that what is a blockchain. Blockchain is a distributed ledger where every participant is having his own copy and he can keep the records, what all entries he is doing. So it is a distributed ledger. If we compare blockchain with another terminology, so what is blockchain? Blockchain is basically a database where we are keeping the records. So blockchain is a database. If we see another feature, so we say that blockchain is an append-only database. Blockchain is a database where you can put your records, you can only append, you cannot delete. So it is an append-only database. It is a permission-based database. Permission is given to all the participants, and depending on the permissions, they can interact with it. If we see another terminology which is analogous to blockchain, we say that blockchain is nothing but it is a type of a data structure where it is holding the information on a distributed network of computers. So to summarize these 4 points, blockchain is a ledger, blockchain is a database, it is a permission-based database, or we say that blockchain is a data structure. Okay. The fifth thing says that blockchain is something which deals with transactions, which deals with certain amount of value without any intermediaries. We'll talk about the fifth point after some time without what is intermediary and what is a transaction. To continue with this definition only, with data structure part only, let me open the platform for you all. And if any one of you or two of you could unmute yourself and tell what is a linked list.
Linked list is a data structure in which nodes are connected with the help of address.
Good, Kuldeep sir. Great. Anyone else would like to add something? What is a linked list?
The blocks containing data one after the other.
The motive was that to know that what a linked list is, and if someone has forgotten, to revise what a linked list is. So what was a linked list? Linked list was a data structure where there were different nodes and those nodes were connected with each other. A node was basically having two parts. One part was holding the address and the second part was holding the data. The address was in the form of a pointer to the next node and we were having the data. Similarly, you just think that what a blockchain is. Blockchain is also a type of a linked list where there is a block joins with another block, and to join with another block, instead of having a pointer, it is also having an address, but that address is something more cryptographically secured. We will come to that point afterwards. And that block is also storing certain data. There are other fields also in the block, but we will not speak particularly on what fields are there in the block. But you can compare that it is like a linked list where there is a block and the block is joined with another block. The only difference for the time being we say is that linked list was not distributed, this blockchain is distributed. Another difference we say is that in a linked list, a node was joined with to the next node. In a blockchain, a node connects to the previous block. A node connects to the previous block. And another thing is there. It connects to the previous block. One thing is, it connects to the previous block and means, okay, let me tell the word also. We use a cryptographically hashing in this to store the addresses and all. And that hashing technique is called SHA-256. We'll be talking about it little afterwards, but you can compare a blockchain with a linked list. The only difference for the time being, I'm telling two differences is, one is instead of joining with the next block, it joins with the previous block. Second difference, it is distributed. One more difference is that in a linked list, we can delete a block. In a blockchain, we cannot delete a block. In a linked list, we can delete a node. To be very specific, in a blockchain, we cannot delete the block. In linked list, the node can be deleted, but in blockchain, the node cannot be, or the block cannot be deleted. Once we have added it, we cannot delete it. So to summarize it, see, just close your eyes and think for a moment that what was the linked list? A node connecting to another node, and you can keep on connecting any number of nodes and you can delete any number of nodes. What I'm saying is a blockchain is also similar to this. A block having a data and address of another node joining with the previous node. We call it a block over here, but once connected, we cannot delete it. So this is one of the security point of blockchain, that we cannot modify it. If by mistake something wrong has been written into the ledger, we cannot delete what we have written wrong. We have to perform another operation to redo our wrongdoing. And all these operations which we perform in a blockchain network are basically called transactions. Slowly and slowly, I'm trying to put more and more technical terms. Okay. So slowly and slowly, I'm trying to put more and more technical terms. I hope things are moving fine. Any queries? So the transactions are, what are transactions? Any operation which we are putting on blockchain is known as a transaction over here. Any operation, for example, if I say that Avinash sir gives 100 rupees to Pratyush sir, so this is a transaction. Okay, this is an operation which has taken place, it becomes a transaction. And all these transactions combine together and they come into a block. Depending upon the application which we have made, depending upon the platform which we are using, so those transactions combine together and they come into a block. And that block joins with the previous block. Okay, how all these joining is happening and all, we will try that we can complete in this session or in other sessions, it would be shown to you. Okay, so let's proceed. In case of any queries, the chat window is there for you. You are open to write on the chat. Shall we proceed? Any doubts?
Please proceed.
Sir, I have one question.
And yes, okay. Thank you.
Sir, you have said that
Yes. With another definition of blockchain. Blockchain can be regarded as a global spreadsheet or an incorruptible digital ledger where financial transactions and any data or asset can be represented, shared, and transacted with. What is a blockchain? We can say that it is like a global spreadsheet, as you all work in Google Sheets. So for the timing, you can think, what is a blockchain? Blockchain is nothing more than a Google Sheet, because we have to think big. Think like this only, that blockchain is a Google Sheet where everyone can put their records, but something has been added to it, that it is an incorruptible digital ledger. And you can represent any data or asset. You can use it in any application. So it is much more than Google Sheets, but it is distributed as, you can say, as a Google Sheet. By the end of this session, I'll try to share certain links with you also to give you a hands-on view, a dummy view of what blockchain looks like. Another definition of blockchain says that it is little more than a distributed secure log file. Someone said that can we compare it with a log file? Gargi ma'am already said. So see, this definition says itself that it is a distributed secure log file. Little more than. तो डरने की जरूरत नहीं है दोस्तों. जो चीजें आप यूज कर रहे थे उसी में कुछ चेंजेस करके उसको एक नया टर्मिनोलॉजी दे दिया, अगर सीधे सीधे कहा जाए that it has become a blockchain now. Okay. How does Wikipedia defines blockchain? Just read this definition. Blockchain is a continuously growing list of records called blocks, which are linked and secured using cryptography. Now, what is cryptography? What cryptographic algorithms we use? Slowly and slowly, we'll come to it also. To summarize these definitions, what all we have said up till now, to summarize it, I define blockchain as a cryptographically secured record of transactions stored on decentralized network where each block contains various transactions which are approved after complex consensus algorithms. What is a blockchain? It is a cryptographically secured record of transactions stored on a decentralized network where each block contains various transactions which are approved after complex consensus algorithms. After summarizing this definition, this form is open for queries using the chat. Any queries up till now? What is blockchain? Only for the terminologies which I have used. If any queries, then do ask using the chat.
Sir, please repeat definition number 2 of blockchain, please. Hello,
Where transactions can be done. It is something like a linked list, but we cannot delete it. It is somewhat secured, and certain cryptographic algorithms is making it secure. Plus, we have seen that we cannot delete it and rest other things in the definitions. But to understand what a blockchain is, let me tell you one more important point. All of us know what is an operating system. I believe all of us know what is an operating system is. No need to repeat what is an operating system. So friends, remember this thing. This thing is not written in any book, but this is a way I am sharing with you that you can compare blockchain as an operating system. What is a blockchain? Blockchain is an operating system, and there are different platforms of blockchain. There are different platforms of blockchain where we make our application on those platforms. For example, Bitcoin, which you must have heard of, is the name of a platform also, and it is the name of a cryptocurrency or a digital currency also. Ethereum is a blockchain platform. The cryptocurrency which is used in Ethereum is called Ether. Okay, and this Ethereum platform, you can say that it is an operating system which you put on your operating system, and you make your applications on that particular blockchain platform. The blockchain platform basically is providing you an atmosphere, it is providing you an environment to develop the applications. And when you are making those applications using the blockchain platform, the applications become distributed applications, and we call them dApps. They become the part of the distributed technology. They themselves become secure because they are being built on blockchain platform. And depending upon that platform, we have to choose different wallets. Okay, or it is not necessary that a wallet should be there. It is not necessary that a cryptocurrency is always required for a blockchain application. In my next session, where we'll be doing hands-on, I'll be explaining all these things in more better way and in a more elaborative way. But just remember in your mind that what is a blockchain? Blockchain is a technology which you will be using at the back end. On the front end, you will be installing certain things and you will be making your applications on that platform. That is a blockchain. For example, let me give you an example. All of you must have visited irctc.co.in to book your tickets. Now, just 1 minute I'm means diverting from blockchain and giving you the time that 3-4 years back, use your chat window, or you can unmute also. I'm also opening my speakers if you wish to speak. 3-4 years back, you must have experienced a change, the atmosphere which IRCTC has given you. Means first it was difficult to book the tickets, and now it is speed has not becoming the restrictions in IRCTC. So have you feel that change in IRCTC?
Yes, sir.
142 have said yes, 150 have also said yes. Now, do we know that what is the reason behind this change? One reason we may say that we have improved our internet connectivity. But even if we improve our internet connectivity, if IRCTC is still using that technology which it was using before, then will it have been given the same results? Can anyone answer that? What is the major change which IRCTC must have done at its end that it has improved. We are getting an improved results in it. Any guesses? Great. 263 has written they must have updated their technology. Good. But 263 have mentioned advanced technology for transactions. And my friends, in India also, means there is a misconcept that Indian government is against blockchain. Indian government is not against blockchain. There is always a hue and a cry of cryptocurrency. But blockchain as a technology is well accepted. Blockchain as a technology is well accepted. If you just Google and you will find that Telangana is the first state of India where government is shifting each and everything in Telangana to blockchain. If any participants from Telangana, he can share his experience with us. I've only seen in Google. I've not shared the experience. But if there is any participants, he can share the live example with us, and we would love to hear. So if you just Google, so there is a website also, Telangana district.blockchain, something like this. Indian government is exploring blockchain for technical things. In our first FDP, the AICTE chairman was there as the chief guest, the NBA chairman was there as the chief guest. They themselves announced that they are looking for the projects on blockchain-based projects for education. And I sincerely hope and wish that people from this group come and collaborate with us and we put a joint project for education in blockchain. Okay. So let's proceed further. I hope what a blockchain is, I've made my point that what is a blockchain. Till now, what is it is clear. Let's proceed. It is a distributed ledger technology that establishes trust, accountability, and transparency to streamline an innovative process across any business network. It can be used across the globe for any business. There is no restriction for our blockchain technology. We can use it for any network. And it gives us the trust and the accountability and transparency. This is the basic motive of blockchain technology. So this is how a block joins with it. We will see this thing practically. So I'm skipping this thing. There are different parts in its hash, block data, nonce. So, and a block joins with the previous block. The links are over here. It has been, by mistake, they have been made wrong links. N+2 joins with N+1 and then N+1 joins with N. So every block over here is divided in 3 fields. One is data, second is nonce, and third is hash. Now, what is this hash and what is this nonce? We'll speak to it after some time. I'll try to focus these things with practical things by the end of the session. Now, what is this hash and all? Hashing is a cryptographic algorithm, you can say. Now, blockchain platform, as I said, there are different platforms. It is not in our hands. So different blockchain platforms uses hashing algorithms to secure the data which we are storing into that block. And the most common hashing algorithm which is used is called SHA-256. Now this SHA-256 is such a powerful algorithm that even if we do a small change in our output, even if we do a small change in our input, for example, over here you can see hello world and then hello world asterisk. Even if I do a small change, asterisk has been put. You see the hash function. After applying the hash function, the output changes. Even with a small change in the input, the output changes. So everything in a blockchain is cryptographically secured by using the SHA-256. It is not only our data, it is also the address of the block, which is cryptographically secured, So a block joins with another block by the cryptographically hashed address of the previous block. So even the cryptographically hashed joining of the previous block makes the blockchain secure. And tomorrow, Professor Das from IIIT Hyderabad, who is very renowned in cryptographic functions and all, will be telling in depth about these cryptographic primitives. And believe me, this is one of the key points of this FDP where we have introduced these cryptographic algorithms intentionally in blockchain FDP so that those who are interested in research in these cryptographic hash functions and all, they can move forward with their ideas in it. So let's proceed. So it is a business network where different information is there, and every participant has its own role. As you can see that there is an auditor, there is a bank, there is a government person. So what is basically a blockchain is, I've tried to tell to all of you that what a blockchain is. Now let me just share with you an application which you think means, which will give you a more clear picture of blockchain. Now, for example, we say that a newborn baby is there, a new birth take place. When a new birth take place in our house, we go for the birth certificate. Okay. And after that birth certificate, we give that birth certificate to the school principal. The child is being admitted into the school. Then he goes to the college. The mark sheets of the schools is being produced to the college principal. Then he goes for the job. To the employers, matches all the credentials. Then marriage, the marriage certificates, and the life cycle goes on. And ultimately, the death certificate. From birth certificate till death certificate, every record can be there on a blockchain platform. And you can just visualize by closing your eyes that what is it? That the school principal logs into his system and he checks the credentials of the birth registrar. The college principal logs into his system and he checks the credentials from the child of the school mark sheets. Similarly, the employer and the party himself, the student himself or the parent himself can register everything on the blockchain platform itself. So this is how the blockchain can be used. And Dubai is one of the countries which has shifted entirely to blockchain. There is a website called smartdubai.ae. I'll be sharing these examples as time permits in other sessions or at 3:30 whenever we are free to talk about other things. There is a lot to be spoken on. So it says that in some 5 billion persons and $20 trillion dollars have been shut out of economy due to disputed assets. Means why blockchain is important? Because there have been so much amount of dispute that this thing belongs to me, this thing belongs to me, this thing belongs to me. We see land registry being taking place, the same land being registered again and again by different persons. So we can stop all these things if blockchain comes into the picture. We will not share the articles of different magazines that what is the importance of blockchain. I believe it is over that why blockchain is important. Yes, I'll be sharing with you the view link of the presentation. Means it would be coming into the group. Don't worry. All the presentations of all the speakers will be requesting. Mine you will be getting, and the video links would also be available to you. Now, types of platform. Now, I already said that in a blockchain atmosphere, there are different type of blockchain platforms where we work. So we have divided, or we can say that there are much more divisions, but I have particularly taken 3 types of platforms for blockchain. One is public, second is private, and the third is consortium. What is public blockchain? What is private blockchain? And what is consortium blockchain? I'll be speaking now. See, a public platform, you can say, is one which can be accessed by everyone, which can be used by anyone, is a public blockchain platform. A private blockchain platform, which we say is limited for a particular organization, which can be used only for that particular organization. And a consortium blockchain platform is one which different organizations combine together, they join together so that they can use that blockchain platform for a common cause. That is a consortium blockchain platform. Now the next slide is very important. I'll pause on this slide so that you just read this slide, then I'll speak on this slide after a minute. The first column of the blockchain platform itself says that I've put certain number of platforms. Not all the platforms have been shared. A-Chain, Azure, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Hydra Chain, some of Hyperledger, IOTA, Chaincore. Now, out of these certain number of platforms, means these are the platforms where we can work. I told you that I gave you an example of where Vic said that blockchain you can consider as an operating system, where it can be used for many multiple purposes. You can use it for any type of applications. You have just to choose a platform to work on. So two platforms I'll speak. One is Ethereum and the second is Hyperledger. See, Ethereum is a platform which is used by masses. And Hyperledger is a platform which is used by industry. Okay. Second difference is Ethereum is a platform which is used for applications which are Ethereum is a platform which is used for applications which require cryptocurrencies, whereas Hyperledger we use for platforms for applications which does not require cryptocurrencies. Ethereum is a public open source. Hyperledger is a private consortium which has been made by some group of industries, but we can also use Hyperledger Composer. That is another part of the coin. Now, to work on these type of platforms, certain amount of programming language is required. So for Ethereum, the programming language which is required is Solidity or Serpent. We have not mentioned Serpent over here, but there is another language which is in which you can make your Ethereum blockchain atmosphere, that is Serpent. Nowadays, Python is also heavily used on Ethereum platform, but Solidity or Serpent will be used for a smart contract. And Hyperledger, which is there for Hyperledger Composer, you can use C++, Solidity, and Go language is also there in Hyperledger, and Python is also there. This is an old chart which shows two languages, but Go and Python is also used in Hyperledger. IOTA is also one of the blockchain platform which is gaining pace at a very high speed. Any queries in the structure shown to you, in the chart shown to you? What I'm trying to do is, I have shared in the chat window the YouTube link also of my channel. Though the session is continuing, but just for Hyperledger, you can use Python. Go language also can be used. Okay. I have shared my YouTube channel link with you, and from this channel, you can go to the playlist of blockchain. You will find 4 or 5 lectures on blockchain and entire Ethereum and Solidity and how to use Ethereum, how to use Remix. Though I'll be telling it in the workshop also, but you can keep on exploring it for more and more learning. And all the videos of the session would also be there. So you can use this channel, and we'll be sharing the channel of our university also. We'll be posting all the videos of all the sessions. Between I've shared with you this YouTube channel link also. Depending upon means there are so many queries. So might be some of the queries if they are left. Hope that all the queries are there in this in the videos which we'll be seeing. So when will that block actually join? This thing was intentionally left by me. When will that block actually join into the chain? So for a block to join into the chain, every blockchain platform have a common terminology. We say that there is a group of persons, those who decide that when a block can join into the chain. And in case of Bitcoin, we say that after every 10 minutes, a block is created and it joins into the chain. And the person, those who are allowing a block to join into the chain, they are known as miners. Now, these miners are using huge mining farms, and those mining farms consume a lot amount of energy, a lot amount of electricity is consumed. You will not believe that if you Google it, it says that a small town like Israel and Italy, the huge amount of consumption, the amount of consumption of their electricity in 1 month is consumed in the mining farm in a single day. That is the huge amount of electricity that mining farms, the huge amount of computation is required by these mining farms, by these miners. Now, why they are doing it, that is the other side of the coin. Now, in every blockchain platform, there is an algorithm is inbuilt in that platform. And that algorithm is called as consensus mechanism. Consensus means mutual agreement. And that consensus mechanism algorithm itself works on that platform and it checks whether a transaction is legitimate or not. And depending upon that consensus mechanism, then only a block can be joined. Then only a miner will run that consensus mechanism algorithm. Depending on that consensus mechanism algorithm, he will approve that whether a block is legitimate to join into the chain or not. Now, the most famous consensus mechanism algorithm, which is being used by a majority of the blockchain platform, is proof of work. Now, proof of work is having a problem of energy consumption. This proof of work is having a problem of energy consumption. Bitcoin started with proof of work. Ethereum started with proof of work. Now, recently in February, Ethereum has shifted to proof of stake. Ethereum has shifted to proof of stake. Okay. So with proof of stake, this electricity consumption has reduced, but still very less platforms are doing with this proof of stake and with other consensus mechanism algorithm. To explain consensus mechanism algorithm, let me give you an example again. Suppose there are 10 miners, those who have to validate whether a block will join or not. And we use an algorithm which we say that if 50% of them will agree, then a block can join. So we call it a 50% algorithm. Okay. And when 50% of us agree, then the block can join. So similarly, there are other consensus mechanism algorithms which works on certain principles. Now, these consensus mechanism algorithms, we say that they involve complex mathematical puzzles which are to be solved. And to solve them does not require huge amount of IQ or huge amount of mathematics. What is required is basically a huge amount of computation power. So these are some consensus mechanism algorithms which is shown on the screen, and let me okay, I'll come back to consensus mechanism. Consensus mechanism slides will come after some time. One is proof of work, proof of stake. BFT is a Byzantine fault tolerance, proof of activity, proof of burn time. These are all different consensus mechanism algorithms which control the blockchain platform. The architecture field which is written over here, different blockchain platforms uses different type of architecture. Single chain means there is only one chain. Parallel chains means there are two chains. DAG stands for directed acyclic graph. BAS stands for blockchain as a service. For example, those who are aware of cloud computing, platform as a service, infrastructure as a service, similarly, we have BAS, which is blockchain as a service. Okay. So it is blockchain as a service. Now let's proceed. In case there are any queries, I will be happy to answer. You can post the queries in the chat window. We will not take much time on history because I know that we all are professionals and we are not interested in history. But just to give you a brief idea that nothing is new. In 1991, cryptography was started and a secure chain of blocks was described by Stuart Haber. It is nothing which is very much new. Then in 2008, Satoshi Nakamoto used an application of blockchain which you can say was a change in the field of blockchain. He wrote a paper which is a white paper on Bitcoin, and we do not know who is actually Satoshi Nakamoto, but the names in the paper is Satoshi Nakamoto. It is still not known who is this fellow. So this Bitcoin is also a platform. It is also a currency. But why this blockchain took so much amount of time? The history has been deliberately taken by me to tell you this thing. 1991 blocks were made, cryptography was used. 2008 Bitcoin came into the picture. But why this becomes so much hot topic nowadays? Because first Bitcoin was used as a platform only for cryptocurrency, only for digital currency, you can say only for mining monies. People were investing money and people were, it was not used for different applications. Then companies shifted their eyes to blockchain, to use blockchain as an application, and different platforms came into the picture. And you see from 2015, the blockchain Hyperledger, which was a project of Linux, now IBM has also joined and many companies have joined with it. And it became as an announced as a project, which became as an open source for all. And different platforms came into the picture and blockchain was used for different applications. And believe me, for success of anything, it has to reach to the masses. So from 2015, the scenario changed when blockchain was used for masses for different applications. And slowly the things phased up. And in 2018, the blockchain stepped for its use in different platforms, for be it healthcare, be it supply chain, be it finance sector, be it anything, blockchain can be used for any application. We will skip the video. So now blockchain can be used for any platforms. Just let me elaborate different components of blockchain. If anything is remaining, we will speak on that. After 15 minutes, the next speaker would also be joining with us. Ledger, I have already talked about. Consensus mechanism, I think, has been done. Digital asset is a cryptocurrency. Network participant means different participants which are joining as network participants. Any query up till now? I'll check the chat also. I can see certain queries. I was speaking on proof of work, proof of stake, Byzantine fault tolerance, proof of activity, proof of burn time, proof of elapsed time. Proof of activity says that how much activity one person has done. Now, instead of making one person as a miner, they all keep on revolving. The person who has expended the maximum amount of his cryptocurrency, proof of burn time, how much time he has given, he becomes the miner. Proof of capacity is a totally different consensus mechanism algorithm, which deals on how much storage that person is having in his system. Now, why this storage has become important, I'll try to cover it also if time permits to me, that what is the use of proof of capacity. Now, these are, this is the same slide presented again so that you can know that this is the platform and this is the consensus mechanism algorithm. Now, after this, I'll share with you a link and we will all practice that link. And what all I have said in a blockchain will be practically demonstrated to you through that link. In case any queries, you can ask those queries. I'm stopping the sharing for a moment because I'll be sharing that link with you on the chat window. Just now, see, this is just a demonstration of a GUI demonstration of how a blockchain looks like. So I've given a demonstration to you over here. This is a block and a nonce I was telling about. See, nonce depends on every blockchain platform. In terms of Ethereum, a nonce is there within a block, a nonce is there within the smart contract, a nonce is there, means within the wallet. So a nonce is a random number which is there. Just hold on, there is an urgent task. Just hold on for a moment. Sharing that this is the data field. Within the data field, for example, if I write GKV welcomes you all. Now, see if you can see on the screen that what all I am writing is sharing this, is changing this hash also. If I delete one single F, the hash is changed. If I change this nonce value, the hash is changed. And this is the hash of the previous block. When I'll mine it, this block will be mined. Now, this is only a pictographic demonstration. This is not the actual blockchain, but this is a pictographic demonstration. Tomorrow, when we'll be seeing Ethereum, we'll be focusing on actual demonstration also. But on this pictographic demonstration, I hope it is clear that how this data field is affecting the hash, so how security is there. And if you see the next block now, the next block joins with the previous block, and to join with the previous block in the previous field, it is having the hash of the previous block. You see, if you can see my cursor, this hash value is same to the hash value of this first block. And this is the block number and this is the nonce. This nonce is the random number which is generated. And the miners have to compute this nonce. To compute this nonce, to know the value of the hash is a typical task. Therefore, the miners are being rewarded. And to solve this thing, what is required is huge computational power in case of proof of work. So this is how pictographically we can represent a block in a blockchain atmosphere. So you all may explore this thing, and in case of any query, I'm there to answer the queries, and very soon our next speaker would be joining. So, since with TCS, I was just unable to hold. As BTech Computer Science and Engineering from MNIT Allahabad and has done MTech Software Engineering from BITS Pilani. He has got 25 years of rich IT work experience. He's very enthusiastic gentleman, full of energy with a strong operation management, account management, customer management, project management, negotiation and communication skills. Vikas ji, we are very grateful to you to join with us in this FDP, and all the participants are eagerly waiting to hear from you. Handing over to Vikas ji.
Yeah, thank you so much, Hari ji. Actually, I was not getting the name. So,
okay. Sir, we are getting, sir. You are the presenter now. The
okay, so let me see.
Because you can share your PPT.
Can you see my screen?
Because it's coming. Just I think.
There in a couple of minutes, depending upon the internet speed at your site.
Yeah, it is. It is. No, it's gone.
Can you see it?
So, certain black thing is coming.
It just says Vikas viewing Vikas applications. Nothing else is coming.
Maybe it is slow.
I think bad.
Let me know once you see it.
It is there, Vikas sir. It is there.
Because
okay.
It is there now. You may kindly.
Okay, sure. So we will be. I don't know. I'm hearing the echo here. Are you also hearing the echo? Rachit, are you hearing the echo?
Is not there. Kindly proceed.
Actually, I am hearing the echo. I don't know why.
Sir, you put your speakers on mute because your voice is echoing at your side. And all the participants are on mute, so there will be no echo. Please proceed, sir.
विकास आपका आवाज नहीं आ रहा. Mayank sir, can you hear Vikas?
Sir, I also can't hear, though he is unmute also.
मैं एक मिनट, I'll just call him up.
Vikas sir, we can't hear you.
The gentleman before me, he also talked about blockchain, but we will touch upon blockchain again, and we will try to educate you people more, and I will also get educated myself because we all are learning in this new world. So one thing is, what is a blockchain? Let me share with you a few data points first. So cryptocurrency, if you see the over market for this cryptocurrency is around $450 billion. And over 1500 ICOs, it is increasing 100-fold from Q1 to Q4 in 2017. This data is a little bit old, but now it must be in 1000-fold increase quarter on quarter. So lot of hype is there on this one. And on the right side, if you see, so the business value of blockchain is going to be $176 billion by 2025 and around 3.1 trillion by 2030. So if you see day by day, it is getting increased in the corporate world. All transactions are moving to this area in blockchain. So a lot of promises are there in the blockchain. And when we are moving from the traditional approach to blockchain, it is getting decentralized day by day, So our interest on the technology is growing across the board because blockchain is what it is. It is someone is saying something. Hello, any questions, please? Okay, so what it is, blockchain is in terms of numbers and plus the technology. These are the two things, and it is getting decentralized the way we are moving forward. So these are some of the companies and all and startups. If you see on the first screen, you see all these are the new startups in this area, and in the second one you see the major banks are there who are moving to blockchain now from the traditional way of working. So if you see frictionless EV, they are charging with electronic vehicle, they are charging with the blockchain. So you park your vehicle, you plug in and you shop, you go for the shopping, dining, and you drive out. All these are getting done with the blockchain. So if you see, you put the block charge, and this is the business model. 1 second. Yeah, this is the business model, how things are moving for different corporations in terms of blockchain. So within the organization, in the first one, if you see, in one organization, there are different business units. So blockchain is connecting all them in the decentralized way. Earlier, it was the centralized way, but now it is decentralized way. And the second is existing customer, supplier, and partner. You see the complete ecosystem that comprises of our enterprise, our suppliers, and our partners and our customers, how they are collaborating with each other in the secured way. And the third one is central authority-led ecosystem. So where we have the multiple enterprises and there is a central authorities there, which is leading this ecosystem. And ecosystem among industry peers. So this can be done among the different industry peers also. The ecosystem, how it is working in different organizations, the way it is shown on the diagram. And in the fifth one, if you see, it is cross-industry ecosystem. Across the industry, how the people are collaborating in blockchain arena. So in blockchain, you know, we should have the idea and how we want to take the interactions between different organizations and how we do our portfolio development and how we have the POC development and we move it forward. So what we do to do any development, we have to have the use case design first, then solution design and the minimum viable product we make it, or we can say the prototype. So that we do in any of the software development life cycles. A similar thing is done in the blockchain design also. And then we have our implementation strategy. Then we have the solution build and integrate it further. And then we do the performance tuning. So here are some of the business case. Let me move to the different area. If you see how we do the application of blockchain in industry patterns. So one key area is automation and efficiency. So what we are looking for any business processes, we are looking for automation. And if we do the automation, then efficiency will come automatically. And then we do the consolidation. And then we worry about the security. And then we do then when we have the security, then it reduces the frauds. And then we use the full data and then business models are there. So here are the different things shown on the right side, what I have already explained to you. So what it does, there will be new business models where we have new value ecosystem at scale and digital rights management. So this is just the example of the business challenge. What was the business challenge? What we are solution and what are the benefits? But I will not go in that one further. And here is another use case example. How we have done is cold chain enabled with a blockchain. And what are the benefits we got it? And all these benefits are the business benefits. So let me go to So if I summarize what we have discussed was what is the blockchain. So blockchain is the decentralized. Earlier we were talking about banks. We have the banks in the centralized system and our government here. You know, these two things are the centralized systems. So, but now in blockchain, it is decentralized, consensus controlled, tamper proof, ledger and the transaction. So it contains the ledger, it contains the transactions, and it contains the different parties, third parties, and how it affects the industries. We talked about efficiency, disrupt business model, automation, and the interface, and how it impact automation of trust. So automation of trust, no more middlemen required in the industry. For example, for any banking transaction, financial transaction we do, that is controlled by RBI or banks. In this world, all involvement of centralized bodies are not there. And here are some of the features of blockchain technology. So blockchain enables real-time settlement of recorded transactions. They remove the hindrance. They reduce the risks. And no intermediary people are involved in those cases. Distributed ledgers are there. So there is no one single centralized ledger in this thing. Irreversibility and immutability is there. So fraud will be very less. And smart contracts will be written with the predefined business rules. So these are the features of blockchain technology. So here are sample blocks, but these blocks were already explained by earlier speaker. So I will not go detail in these sample blocks. So here is the example of replication of tempered ledger over all the nodes. How these data are, if you see one node, one node is having the data for the previous node. So it is not having the complete tree data available. You have to see only the previous node. And if previous node is correct, then you don't have to worry about the all parents and all children. Can you see this PPT also? Rachit, you can see? Okay. So blockchain technology and crypto, we talked about it is a blockchain. So we talked about intermediary, bank and government. So these two are the intermediary. Why these are required? Because we trust bank, we trust our government, and they facilitate all the transactions of goods and services across the world. It is in all the countries, it is applicable. So what are the issues with the current system? One is the centralized power. It is centralized. Private ledgers are there, prone to corruption and hacking. Somebody can hack the system, and it had delays and impede the free flow of business. Any questions anybody have so far? Am I going so fast, so slow, or my pace is okay? Okay, silence is consensus. Okay, so a little fast. I will go a little slow, and in case I was going fast because I thought that you all know about, because earlier session was more on the detail part, but I will still go slow. But still, you can interrupt me if you have any questions. So, what is the life without intermediaries? So, business to business transactions. So, all transactions will be business to business only. No centralized involvement will be there. And peer-to-peer transaction, P2P and B2B. So, new world will be there with P2P transactions and B2B transactions, other than our traditional centralized approach. So, if you see diagrammatic way of blockchain, what is blockchain? It is the use of mathematics. When I told you it is a number game, right? And trust. So the use of mathematics to create a secure, if you see the clockwise, the use of mathematics to create a secure distributed ledger. Earlier it was centralized ledger. Now it is a distributed ledger, which enables the transactions. So with the distributed ledger, we do the transactions and which is secure without the need for third party involvement. I hope it is very simple definition and you all are very clear. The use of mathematics to create a secure distributed ledger which enables transactions without the need of third party. Okay, so a blockchain has other part, decentralized power, right? From centralized, we are moving to decentralized. Public ledgers. Earlier we were using private ledgers. Now we are using the public ledgers. Immutable hacking. So hacking will not happen. It is very, very secure. And when we are saying hacking will not happen, means it will not be 100% proof, error proof, but it will be probability is very low. And cryptography. So it is flexible, open. It is on distributed architecture, automated operations, worldwide adoption, and secure. And yeah, we will be sharing the slides with you. Rachit will be sharing this slide deck, which we are, showing now. Rachit will share that slide. Rachit, I think we can share that slide deck, right? Okay, so you see the blockchain, someone requests a transaction, they broadcast the transaction. Then the validation happens by the miner. And when they do it, then so there is one person involved in all this thing is the miner, M-I-N-E-R. Miner is who validate the entries, what you are putting it. And once he validates, then the entries are getting added in the block. And when entries are getting added in the block, then all the plus and minus transactions happen from the debited account, credited account, and then the new block get created. This is the complete, flow of how transactions are getting done in blockchain environment. So you see someone request a transaction, broadcast, validation happen. When the transaction is verified, then the new block is created and it got added. And and it is a thing, it happens. So security, game theory, cryptography science, and software engineering. So cryptography, what is cryptography? Cryptographic, what it does, it ensures security of the network, transparency in the transactions, and privacy of individual users. And it is of two types, symmetric and asymmetric cryptography. So cryptographic hash functions, it maps data of an arbitrary size to a fixed size output called. If you see what is the input on the left side, and then by having the hash function on that due to security, then you see the hash sum which is created on the right side. And what are the benefits of hash function? With systems that contain massive amount of data, we have so much data, the benefit of being able to store and identify data with a fixed length output, it creates vast storage savings. So if we don't convert using hash function, then we need so much space to store the data, and our efficiency will not be that good. So to increase our efficiency and to reduce the storage, we use this hash function, and it is fast also. So that is Merkle tree in Bitcoin. So here you see blocks are there, and then every leaf node is there. Leaf node, from leaf node to the parent node, if you see, they are having the information from the parent node, and whenever we need to see the details, we don't have to download the complete tree. We can download a part of that where we have the hash function. It contains the information of the previous node, and if something gets changed in the current node and if they send it to miner, then miner will validate, and if it is not matching with the previous node, that they will know somebody had updated it, then this transaction will not be valid, and then you will not move forward and new block will not be created. So that is the beauty of this Merkle tree, that when you use one information in hash, it has the information for the previous parent of it, the child. And if you update the child, if hacker does it, then it will not match with the previous node, and then it will not be created. So this transaction will not be valid transaction. So that way it is secure. So there is a game theory. So game theory explores how rational people make strategic decisions in different scenarios. There are three cases mentioned here. So this is case studies, prisoner dilemma. One prisoner remains silent. If he remains silent, then he get a 20 years prison. If he confesses, then he gets released. In case B, if he is silent, then 1 year. Second person is also silent. He is also getting a he will be in prison for 1 year. And in third case, first prisoner confess is 5 years. Prisoner 2 confess, then 5 years. You see that dramatically in the following slide. So this is called as a payoff matrix, and you have to read from left to right. If you can see left side and the top side. For example, there are two prisoners. One prisoner confess, prisoner A confess, prisoner B confess. So if both confess, both will get a prison of 5 years. And in the second scenario, if prisoner A confess and prisoner B is silent, that means prisoner A confess, then he will get no prison. He will be freed. And prisoner B is silent, then he will get 20 years of prison. So in case scenario third, prisoner A is silent and prisoner B confess. So the person who is silent, again, he will get 20 years prison. And since prisoner B confess, so he will be freed. In the fourth scenario, both are silent. So they will get the same prison for 1 year. This is the payoff matrix and called as a prisoner dilemma in this case. Any questions here so far? Okay, so types of blockchain, there are three types: public, private, and consortium. So what is public blockchain? Public blockchain, it is open and transparent mechanism. There is no one in charge. So in public, no one is in charge, and anyone can participate in reading, writing, or auditing. So all have the equal rules, and everyone has the read and write access to the ledger. So as we told, all the transactions are run with the ledger. So here everyone can read and they write to the ledger and participate in the decision making process. And all the users maintain a copy of ledger on their local nodes. So there will be multiple copies are there on their local nodes. As there is no dedicated in charge, decentralized consensus mechanism like proof of work or proof of stake are used to agree upon final stage of ledger. So what it is, every individual has their own ledger, but finally only one final state should be there for every ledger. So, and there is no one in charge. So this, they will use the proof of work and proof of stake to agree upon what is the final stage of that ledger, which will go in the blockchain. And examples, Bitcoin was the first one when we started this. So these are some of the example of public blockchain, Bitcoin, Ethereum Dash, Lisk, and so on. Second one is private blockchain. So private blockchain, as the name suggests, it is not decentralized like the public one, like the previous one we have seen, right? And it is just a distributed database. So however, all permissions are kept centralized. So what is the difference between these two? In the first one, if you see, it is everybody has the access and they have their own copy of it, ledger with them, and they do it. But in this case, it is just a distributed database. All permissions are kept centralized in the organization, like a private. So this type of blockchain enables an organization to create its own currency. So organization will create its own currency for trading. There will be an in charge who manages read, write, or provide selective access to read or vice versa. Consensus or minor rights are achieved through in charge. So there is one in charge who give the mining rights to the people. And the main drawback of this is decentralization and open protocol get lost. So when it is not centralized, then then open protocol get lost in this case. An example of this is multi-chain and blockchain. So third one is consortium blockchain. So what it is, in this group of members or group of representatives, they come together and make decision for the whole network. And this is a part of, it is not fully decentralized, but it is partly semi-decentralized it is. And here some of the members will have read access and very few will have the write access. So everybody cannot write it. In the first one we have seen, everybody can read, they can write also, but in this case, very few people can write, all can read. And there are predefined set of nodes where user have access to write the data or block. It is a little bit faster, and examples are Ripple and R3 for this consortium. So if you see the comparisons between public, consortium, or private, so anyone can send the information. Consortium, limited people can send. In private, it is centralized. And approve, anyone can approve in public. Few members can approve in consortium. Centralized in private, only centralized body can do it. In read, anyone can read in public, and a few people can read in consortium, and a few people can read in private. So here is the how implementation works here. So money, contracts, patent, assets. So here you see, it is just a representation of, we talked about digital currency. It involves record keeping, security, and smart contracts. So when we say digital currency, it could be, global payments, remittance, P2P, lending, microfinance. And when we say record keeping, healthcare records, title records, lease records, right? Ownership, voting, intellectual property, all the documentations. And then security, equity, if you, put your money in shares and all, private markets, debt, debentures, crowdfunding, derivatives, and then smart contracts. So all the contracts which are written in the system, those are the smart contracts, digital rights, escrow account, wagers. So smart contract. So smart contract is a computer protocol intended to digital facilitate, verify, or enforce the negotiation. So what is a contract? if you say contract is, agreement between two parties or multiple parties. Agreement could be a, verbal agreement. It could be a written agreement. And in this case, we are talking about what it is in the digital form. It is created and where all the parties agree to it. That is the smart contract here. Autonomy is there, trust is there, backup we will have, saving is there, accuracy is there. So all those things are in smart contracts. Here are all those things, Bitcoin, because this blockchain started with a Bitcoin, how did it get started? How is the currency created and all those things? These are some of the questions we may ask ourselves. And why all the money flowing into Bitcoin? And trading in Bitcoin can make you very rich or very poor also. So 90% of Bitcoin buyers are speculators. If people only bought Bitcoins to be used for e-commerce, the price would likely be much lower. So whatever it is now, actual price is much lower. Using an exchange to buy Bitcoin on an exchange. How you can buy Bitcoin, or you can, so what it is, you can create an account on this one, write them some money, no credit cards allowed, wire them some money there. Fund will show up in your account and you can purchase Bitcoins, and then you can send those Bitcoins. So this is the process how you can buy Bitcoins. Legality, Bitcoin transactions are untraceable. They are not traceable. So that is not good also, Seller doesn't tell the income tax department. So that is why they are not very legal in our country. Buyer can be anonymous. RBI wanted to stop. First big user of Bitcoin was Silk Road. It's very hard to stop Bitcoin. It is international scheme. Here are some of the country-wise, how outflowed in some countries. You can read it. So safety. Electronic wallets and wallets are proven to be safe, but no guarantee. So who accept the Bitcoins? Thousands of online merchants, Pirate Bay, OkCupid, Overstock.com, Tiger Direct, all these, they accept the Bitcoins. And some retail stores also accept Bitcoins. So will Bitcoin survive? So here are some of the, they have filed the patent. For example, JP Morgan Chase, they filed the patent to address the issue of Bitcoin. And since most owners are speculative for the true price for owning Bitcoin, that because the actual value is not known, what is the true value of it, and hedge funds and banks will likely start trading Bitcoins like currency and gold. Digital currency makes a lot of sense. It could eliminate a lot of middleman cost, credit card, wire fee. If we use credit card, then merchant has to pay the fee for credit card, wire fees, etc. This will be eliminated. It could be extremely easy to use. It could eliminate billions of dollars in credit card fraud and identity theft also. And Bitcoin may utterly fail, but some form of digital currency will probably emerge. It must be safe, traceable by government entity. It must be easy to use. People must have trust in its value. So you see, from the one block, new block get created, and when it gets validated by miner, then it get added in the blockchain. So we can take now any questions. If you guys have, I can take the questions. Any question?
Blockchain and the basics of blockchain, including means what are the flaws in Bitcoin and how we can overcome them. It is really always a pleasure and honor to have TCS with us on our panel. And TCS is the first company which started recruitment for our students. We thank Rajat and the entire team to give us an opportunity to have you with us today. Thanks, Vikas sir.
Thank
Any
you.
queries
Thank you
by
so
the
much.
There is one query I can see, Vikas sir, if you could answer it. How is Python used in?
We are saying this, blockchain is very secured and all, but it may not be 100% secure. But the thing is, it is very, very secure as compared to others. So there is one term which is commonly used, 51% attack, for example. So it means it is a situation. We talked about a group of miners, So when we say when a group of miners hold more than 50% of network hash rate, they can manipulate the transactions. But having a 50% of network hash rate is very, very difficult. So in other terms, what we say, if they have the access for more than 50% of the network hash rate, only then they can do the attack. That is 51% attack. So it is very, very highly unlikely that any attack can be possible in this case. So then we say, compared to this, this is still, very, very secure. Yeah, so that's all from my side. If there are no questions, then we can, conclude the session here. Rachit, anything from your side, please?
With us. It was really
Yeah.
a wonderful session. Thank you, Rajit, for providing an opportunity. And it is an open invitation to all the team members of TCS anytime, and this coming 5 days at 3:30, Rajat would like to add on to these sessions. Do let me know, please. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Mr. Pankaj, Dr. Pankaj, for taking inviting TCS. Very humbled to be a part of this faculty development program. As Mayank sir just said that they would invite TCS for more such sessions and so on and so forth. So TCS is always willing to give something back to the academia. So do let us know over the next couple of days if you want us to take care of any particular thing. We would love to take it forward, and anytime elsewhere, not this particular 4-day, 5-day FDP. Even otherwise, TCS is always willing to give to disseminate knowledge to the faculty members, because Tatas always believe in giving it back to the society. So please come back to us, and we would love to take forward more knowledge with you guys. Thank you very much, and please stay safe and please stay home. Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you, Rajat. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for
Sir,
joining.
thanks a lot.
Thank you, Mayank sir. Thank you.
Now, to the participants, we call it the end of the day for today. Thank you for joining with us. Don't worry for your attendance. The attendance is definitely taken care by the